Okay, let's talk about professional recognition, and that describes the process of the German authorities evaluating your foreign professional qualification and comparing it to a German one to see whether or not you are allowed to work in the profession that you are allowed to work in. That is used for jobs that are regulated. There is a different or a separate video and page on the topic of regulated jobs. So if you want to learn more about them, you can look there. So it's done for regulated jobs, for vocational jobs. It is practically mandatory because without it, you have a much better chance to find a job because it will showcase that you have the skills to work in the profession. So this whole process is done to make sure that everyone who wants to work in those certain professions, jobs in Germany is actually fully qualified for. So that is why professional recognition, or Anerkennung as it's called in Germany, has been established. The best way to go about finding out if you need professional recognition, and if so, who to contact and what to do, is the official website of the German government, anerkennungindeutschland.com. There is a link below the video where you can go to the website, and it's one of the better government websites in Germany, definitely. You can find your way around it almost without a lot of help. So you just go there, you put in the search box what your profession is that you would like to work in, and it gives you an overview of possible results, and you choose the one that fits your profession. And then on the next page it says where you want to work in Germany. If you don't know anywhere you want to work in Germany yet, just put in any city like Berlin or Munich. However, because of the way the recognition process is handled, it's not as trivial, because the recognition process is always handled by the official government bodies or commercial chambers within a state or a city. So choosing where you want to go kind of puts you in contact with the chamber or the body, governing body from that city early on. And then if you want to switch, there might be a little bit of how you want to say, it's a little bit of friction in the process. So if you already know where you want to go, choose that city. If you don't know, then just choose any city like Berlin. Afterwards, it will tell you whether or not the job that you're working in is regulated or not, and if you need professional recognition or not. At this point, let me just say, like what I said earlier about vocational jobs, is that for all vocational jobs, it will say that they do not need professional recognition, which by law is correct. However, in reality, getting professional recognition is basically mandatory. If you're from the EU, it helps you to find a job. And if you're from outside the EU, you need the professional recognition in order to get the visa. So if you work in the vocational field, do get the professional recognition. It helps you to find a job easier. And if you're outside the EU, it even helps you, or even makes it possible to come into the country, because otherwise it is not possible. Then when it says, on the page where it says what status your job has, it will also tell you on the top which governing body is in charge of the process and the recognition procedure for the city or the area that you want to move to. So it is recommended that you get in touch with them. I would say get in touch with them as early as possible. Write them a formal email so you establish a written communication and you have something for your documentation, so you know you don't get lost. But also call them if you speak German. If you speak German, call them and find out, okay, is the job that I want to work in really regulated or not? Did I make any mistakes in the search box? Okay, so this is number one. Do you really need recognition? Number two, are they really the people you should speak to? Number three, what are the needed documents? It says on the page, on the results page, what the documents are, but just in case, ask the person, okay, what are the needed documents? And then they will tell you how long it takes and so forth. So what you usually need is a CV, you need your certificates, your diplomas, all your training official documents to send there. They always need to be translated into German, and they always need to be authorized. So even if you make a copy of something, it needs to be an authorized copy. So this can be done at the embassy or at lawyers can do this in Germany. A notar can do this. So always have your copies and translations authorized as well. And oftentimes, when you send something out, those things are then kept on file the whole time. So best if you always send out copies of all your documents and you keep your originals for yourself, just in case something happens and if you want to get them back and they're somewhere else and you have to talk to them to get them back, it just costs time. So keep your originals for you, make authorized copies of them and send them out. And then depending on what kind of profession, how the procedure, what the content of the procedure is, there can be varying lengths of how long the recognition process takes as a whole. It can be a couple of months, it can be probably even over a year. So you should take into consideration that it can take some time. And there are different possible outcomes of that evaluation. The easiest one is that they say your qualification is equal to that of a German qualification for your profession. That means you are allowed to work in that field because you have the necessary skills. And that is great, because if you're an EU citizen, then you can take this and apply for jobs and just come to Germany. If you are from outside the EU, this really helps you to find a employer as well, get a job contract, take the document with you to the embassy so that the embassy sees that you have a job, you're allowed to work in Germany, and then you get your visa. So getting this recognition is really crucial. It is also possible that your result is that your skills don't quite match the German qualification. It is still some skills needed, and then this would be a case where you need additional training. There are special visas that you can get. They're called visa for the recognition of professional qualification, that you can get to come to Germany to get additional training, to learn those last skills that you don't have yet. And this allows you to come to Germany for 18 months and attend a training course. Or maybe just an exam if they just want to examine if you have the skills needed or not. So this is also a possibility. If by any chance you do not have the needed documents anymore in person, because of your circumstance, if there was some conflict, war in your country maybe, then it is also possible to have a Qualifikationsanalyse, which is a qualification analysis where you are put into a training situation in person and you have to do some basic process tasks, or maybe just some advanced tasks as well from your profession, and professionals from Germany will review whether or not you do those tasks correctly, and if you do, then have the chance to get your qualification recognized, and you get the chance to work in Germany because it's shown that you actually have the skills to work in that job. So this is all about the professional recognition. Let me quickly recap. It's a process to see whether or not you're actually qualified to work in jobs that the German government has decided that they are so important that people who work in it need to be qualified. You should go to the official website, anerkennungindeutschland.com. There's a link below. You put in the job you want to work in. You say where you want to be, where you want to work in Germany. It tells you if your job is regulated or not, if you need a recognition or not. It tells you who is in charge of it. Contact those authorities, contact those people via email and phone and ask, is it correct, true, the job I want to work in, is it regulated? Are you the right person to talk to? What are the documents? All the documents are already also listed on the website, but check just to make sure. It can take from a couple of months to over a year for the whole process to take place. The one outcome would be that you are fully recognized immediately, that you can start working in Germany. It can also be the case that you have to do extra training to learn the needed skills that you do not yet have. and for that you can get a special visa to come to Germany to get those last bits of training. And if you then have the professional recognition at the end, you can use that to find a job, and you have to use that also to then apply for a visa if you do need a visa to come to Germany. So yeah, that is all there is to say on the professional recognition for now. I hope this was a insight into the whole process, what it's for, if you need to do it, where you can do it, and hopefully this gave you some inspiration, some insights, some spark to get inspiration to take the first step on your journey to Germany.